Hi everyone, Sarah here. I am coming to you today with my tutorial for the week. I'm going to give it a try. I don't want to let my finger get the best of me. So just bear with me as I do this. I'm going to do my best. So today's tutorial is actually it's a pretty simple one. I'm going to kind of recreate the card that I made for Melissa, and also it was one that I put in for the January challenge at Not Too Shabby Shop Scrap and Stampers on Facebook. This is the one where I used the super long saying and cut out a flag banner with my X-Acto knife. So I have my pieces of paper already cut up. I'm using a 5.5 by 5.5 card, so this is just some Recollections cardstock from Michaels. I am going to use this image that I colored up that day. I was going to put it in my Smash journal, but it's too cute. I want to use it on something. So I have my card 5.5 by 5.5. And then I've cut out two pieces of patterned paper here. This is the base one that's going to go on the card. And this one is cut at 5 3/8. And then this one is cut at 5 1/4, just to go on top of that. And this is the one that we're going to be cutting. So I had already had this one picked out because of the colors matching with what I colored. So I figured I would keep this one on the bottom to be peeking out underneath my pattern paper. Plus I want a nice pattern that you can stamp a saying on it and you'll still be able to read it. This would be way too, it kind of hurts the eyes. Okay, so I'm going to set these aside for now. We're using this piece and we're playing with this. I have my Penny Black Simply the Best Edge to Edge stamp set. That's the set that I'm using, and I've chosen this You Make My Heart Smile, so this can still be a Valentine's Day card. So these are really good for when you're doing big cards, but as you can see, they're too big for a 5.5 by 5.5. It just doesn't, you'd have to like, it doesn't work. So what I've done is taken my block and I have placed the saying on the block and twisted it a little so that it's got a nice curve to it. And I already played around and decided where I want to put it. I'm going to put it so that it's going through the center of the card. You want to have enough room to do a tail at the end so you're not like cutting your paper in half. But this one is a little bit longer than the birthday one that I had done for Melissa. So that's where I'm going to do it. Okay, so I have my paper, my stamp. For sayings and clear stamps, I like to use VersaFine. Sorry, I'll show you guys the top. VersaFine Onyx Black. I find that this works on cling stamps the best and gives a nice, crisp, bright image. You cannot use Copic markers with it though. Sometimes I've been okay with it if you stamp it and leave it for like a day or two to dry. But if you're in a rush and you want to stamp and color in the same day, you can't use it. Okay, so just place it where you want it. Like I said, this is awkward because I can't press down with this finger. There we go. Let me just quickly wipe this off. Alright, and I'll set this aside. Ow! Sorry. So there is my saying right there. Alright, and then I have my handy dandy craft mat and my craft knife. This is one that I think it's from Michaels quite some time ago. It's kind of my go-to. I like it. The cushiony handle, I like it. So this is how I'm now holding markers and knives and everything because I can't press down with that. Okay, so once you have your saying stamped on there, then this is where you're going to carefully take your craft knife and cut around it in a nice line, curved line, and end it up with your little tail. So I'm going to do the bottom first. This one I'm not going to go all the way because, as I said, this one is a lot longer. curve it up here, and I'm going to end it right there. So you will have to go over it usually twice as good, as long as you're pressing hard enough the first time. Okay, so as you can see, I have cut that part of the banner. Okay, so now I'm just going to make my fishtail, and like I said, I don't want to come out the edge of the paper, so I'm just gonna do it a little bit wonky. I did a double one there, oops. So there's my banner cut out. You can see I did make an oopsie and I cut an extra. I cut in the wrong spot, but nobody is going to notice because when we put this down, we're actually going to bump it up. So what it's going to look like is that you have two banners going on, because you've got this one with the other color and then that one on top. Okay, so that's the cutting out. It is super easy. You're just doing two lines in your little fishtail, so that's it. Then what we're going to do now is get some Vintage Photo Distress ink. It's kind of my go-to color. And what I'm going to do is do the edges of this paper. Sorry guys, concentrating. And then what you want to do is do the edges of your banner. So you're just going to hold it out and ink up the edges there. And you can do the edges in here also, just so that you don't have that white, because this is not double-sided paper, just so you don't see that little white edge. Basically just gonna run it up and down. Sorry guys, really awkward. There we go. Now, normally I use distress ink on a lot of my papers, but this one I don't want to, because I don't want to take away from the color. I want it to be nice and bright behind here. Because if I ink that, because it's such a small border, you'll see more of the distress ink. Okay, let's see. There we go. Alright, so now I'm going to take my double-sided tape and I'm going to tape up the edges here. And just make sure that you do not put tape on the banner. You just want to put it around your edges. I'm going to put a little bit in this corner. And then I'm going to put a little bit just along the edge here, just because you don't want that pulling up when you pull on your banner. I have my paper here. So there we go. My 2 pieces of paper and my banner sticking out. Let me clear this mess here. I do have my glue gun going here to start attaching some stuff. I do want to get this glued down first. I find it easier before it gets all 3D and bumpy to put down your paper. Hope I'm staying in frame for you guys. I'm not really paying attention much. Okay. Oh, I didn't do that side at all yet. Let me put that in there. So that is ready to go. And then what I want to do, so you can see that your pattern paper peeks out, and I want to actually take this doily and glue it down in here. But I think I also want some more stuff. Sorry, was I shaking the camera there? I have these really old Michaels flowers, and they're from the $1.50 section, but from a long time ago. And they happen to be the perfect corally red pinky color. So I'm going to use some of those, and I have my tub of rhinestones from Hobby Lobby. These things are awesome. And what else am I going to use? Oh, I do have this little die. It's actually a leftover piece from somewhere else, but because I have the music notes in there, I kind of want to add this in here somewhere. And then, I don't know if this flower is too big, I think. We have some little hearts. We also have these puffy hearts from last year. Okay, I'm going to pause here right now while I do this, and I will come back to you guys. Thanks. Hi everyone, I'm back. Sorry about the noise. My daughter's vacuuming downstairs, so you may hear it in the background a little bit. Okay, so I have everything mapped out the way I want to do it. It's not glued down, so I'm just going to take these off just so I can show you. I did attach the little piece of music note down there. It's a glitter die cut, and then I attached the 2 paper doilies, and I attached them just with my Scotch adhesive, so you can see that it's wet there, but that will dry. I've noticed that if I attach these with the hot glue, they burn a little, so they turn a little bit yellowy brown. Okay, so what I want to do, I have my glue gun here. I noticed that when I lift this up, it lifts up down here, and I didn't really want that, so I'm going to put a little bit of glue down here just to hold that in place. And then I'm going to place my banner first. So I've decided that I want it bumped up a little bit, and I want, so it looks like there's 2 tails there. So I'm just going to put a little bit of hot glue, and then I always put my hands underneath to pull it up, and then use my finger on the other side. So my fingers under here are holding it up so that you know you're gonna have a bump in it, and that's the same way I always do any of my banners that I bump out like that. I've already put foam adhesive on my stamped image, so I'm just going to take this off. I'm going to, this stuff is staticky. I'm going to place her right here. So there she is, and then I have layered together 2 of the little flowers, and I put a rhinestone in the middle. So then I'm just going to glue this one down right here. And then on top of that, I wanted to put one of these little white roses, and these were gifted to me by Irene, Crafty Irina. Thank you, Irene. They come in handy all the time. They're perfect sizes that she got me. Okay, so then I also made a bigger flower here. I used the big striped one and then a pink, and I put a rhinestone in the middle. And this bigger one is going to slide a little bit underneath the bump and just right there. So as you can see, this is pretty dimensional. It's not really a mailing card. You might be able to. Actually, you know what? That actually doesn't look too bad if I think I'm gonna do that. I just bumped it down in the middle so it's like a double, just because of the shape of it. So let me try and get some glue in here. And bump it down there. Hot glue gun. Just gonna hold it here gently until it dries. I can see some strings. They're bugging me. Alright. Super cute. Oh, and I did have another white rose that I think I'm gonna put down here. I had it on the top before, but it looks kind of bare there. I'm gonna put this one right here. And then I pulled out these puffy heart stickers, and oh, that really hurts the finger. Just gonna place some here and there around the card. Got a little white one in here. There we go. So that is my finished card and my tutorial for you for this week. Alright, leave a comment, subscribe if you wish, and have a great day. Thanks, bye.